All right, so here is our 1-point perspective drawing that we're going to be working on. We have this three-dimensional shape here. It's kind of what I refer to as an L-shaped block. And what we've done is we've given you the horizon line across the top. We've located a vanishing point for you right there. And we've even kind of led some faint lines away from that to help you make your vanishing point lines connect to your object. The rules for 1-point perspective are right here. We've got them as height lines are always vertical, width lines are always horizontal, and depth lines go to the vanishing point. All right. So looking at this box here, I'm going to kind of make up a scale for how long it is. I'm going to say that if I were to divide this up a little bit, maybe I put in some lines on it like this. This isn't perfect. But when I divide it up with some lines, I can see this object maybe is 2 units deep, 4 units wide, and 2 units tall. So I'm going to write that there just to get an idea of how long each one of those lines are. So looking closely at it, I've got 2 tall, 2 deep, 4 wide, 2 tall, there's a 1, there's a 3, a 1, and a 1. All right. So that kind of gives us an idea of how big to make this object. Now, the front view is going to be as if we were standing right here looking at the object. All right. So that means the front of it sits right on here. What's easy to do is to begin to lay out points on this kind of glass box here to decide where we're going to put things. Well, we know that this line right here is full height and it's 2 units tall. So that for me is going to be right here like that. From top to bottom, vertical line, 2 units. Okay, so that line to that line is done. I also know that it's 2 units back. I can place my pencil on here and connect that 2 lines back. The full area is used, the full length 4. That's going to be the back of the box right here. All right. The height is 2. That fits on full size 2. Now here's where things get a little bit tough because this area right here is actually missing material. It's been cut away. So I'm going to assume that this front of this object here is 4 wide. So I really only need to go 1 unit over. Same with the top, 1 unit over. If I look at the side here, same thing. This could have gone all the way like that. If I zoom in, I could have made a dotted line to show this. It's really right there at the halfway point. So I'm going to come down here and look at this line, and I'm going to guess at a halfway point. So now what I want you to see is this point and follow the rules. Height lines are vertical. All right. Make sure it's perfectly vertical. Go straight up to there. Width lines are horizontal. I'm going to draw a nice, long, kind of horizontal line very lightly. Depth lines go to vanishing point. Put my pencil on the point, bring it down, and light. Same thing here, new point. Follow the rules. Well, it was vertical. That's done. Horizontal we can do next. Bring that down. Nice and light, super light. Depth. Dark right there. And light. Now we've just established this box. Right there. Let's go ahead and darken this one because we didn't do it very dark the first time. And now I've made that face. Same thing, I can divide this area in half and divide it in half again to get 1 block. From that point, I know height lines are vertical. Width lines are horizontal. And depth lines go to vanishing point. I made this one super light so I know where it's going to be. What I've just done here, this intersection point that showed up, is a new point. It exists on this drawing right here. So from the point, we follow the rules. Well, horizontal's done. Depth is done. We're missing vertical. All right. Look, a new point showed up right here. Follow the rules. Horizontal's done. Vertical's done. Vanishing point is not. And we're gonna, we should probably wait in the vanishing point. Excuse that. So here we have to do our horizontal from this point to make this box. And this box right here is that one right there. Now we can hook up the vanishing point all through there and get that edge. I missed a little bit, but it's not too bad. This one's also ready to go to become darker to the vanishing point. And now I can come back in and begin to darken up my lines. So now that shape has popped out in 1 point perspective. All the faces here correspond with all the faces there. Come back in with my pen. I'm going to do this a little quicker than you will to make the video go by. But all the points follow the rules. Every point, vertical is height. Horizontal is width. That's next, horizontal. And depth goes to the vanishing point. Now I'll share some with you. We're going to be doing this for what's called 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point perspective. I think 1 point is actually the most difficult. I think the more points we add, the easier it's going to get. Now, if you mess this up, you'll start to see something that might not make sense. Maybe you didn't follow the rules. Next thing I do is shade the darkest sides. This is the darkest one right here. So I'm going to do shading on an angle. These two are my darkest sides. So I'm going to double cross-hatch them. Now I'm doing this quick. You should do a little bit slower. And then you can kind of use your finger and kind of give those a little bit of a look of a shadow. With these two sides, I'm going to just do one direction. And the top, I'm not going to shade at all. That kind of gives it some depth. Now that was pretty sloppy. I would like to do that a little bit neater maybe. So I'm going to take some time, make sure my pencil is nice and soft. I'm not doing hard lines in there, but that will give it some extra shading. And I can add a little bit more in there if I'd like. Don't go overboard with this. Keep it looking neat. And then, like I said, super light on the other side. At a distance, it looks pretty good. The top is left white. Always leave one side white. All right, that's 1 point perspective.